Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be making paper dragons. You're going to need some construction paper that's about 9 by 12. You're going to need some scratch papers, and you're going to need some glue and scissors and maybe some tape. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to be folding your paper in half the hot dog style way. So long sides together just like this. And you're going to make sure your crease lines up and you have a nice straight edge. I like to use my nails to really put that crease fold in its place. When I open it, I'm going to fold half of my paper to that middle crease line that I made earlier. And by the end of this, you're going to have basically 4 straight, long rectangles. When you have 4 rectangles, you're going to open your paper back up and you're going to take the top corner. I'm going to take the left one first, and I'm going to bend that corner to make it a triangle shape. So notice that it is a straight right angle, but you are using a triangle shape. And it's going to be looking like a house at first. If you notice that it kind of looks like a roof, you're kind of creating this triangle square house shape first. So that looks awesome. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to make another fold along the same line. So this line right here has to become straight with the middle of your paper, just like this. And you have to force this fold to bend at your will. So don't be shy about making sure that straight edge of your triangle matches up with the middle of your line. And you have to do this on both sides. When you're done folding those 2 lines, you're going to have to cut it. So what we're going to do is we're going to unfold all of your hard work. And you guys are going to be cutting on the 3rd largest line here. And this is going to be really, really tricky. So I'm going to draw this out for you. Ta-da! It's like magic. Okay, so you guys are going to be folding your paper in half again. And notice that I made 3 ticks. Those ticks you are going to be cutting on the folded line that is closest to your straight edge. So notice that I'm cutting on an angle, just like that. And I have fallen into 3 different parts. I've had my large triangle and 2 baby triangles that kind of look like wings. So we're gonna push our wings to the side and focus on this big triangle and fold it in half again, so you only see half of your body. You're gonna be cutting, and you're not gonna be cutting past that folded line that I make, so I'm gonna be drawing a little dash here to show you where you're not gonna cut past, because it's important you don't cut all the way through. And I'm going to be making little cut marks where I have a folded line, and I'm just gonna cut where I drew that line. When you get to the middle of your body and your spine, notice that Miss Earl's not gonna cut all the way through. She's actually gonna stop a little bit before this little edge, or else your tail is gonna fall off and you'll have to start all the way over. So I'm actually pinching the edge of my papers to make sure I don't go over the edge and cut everything off, just like this. So now you should have a spine that kind of looks like an accordion. What we're going to do next is we are going to be making it into a 3D shape. So right now it has 4 sides technically, and we are going to be changing that to 3 sides. So we're going to overlap these tabs right here on the side where we didn't cut. So on the other side of that line that I made, I'm going to glue it on one side only, and I'm going to be able to fold it in. Notice I have that fold already, so it's not that hard. And I'm going to take this other tab that I have and I'm going to match the two tabs together. So just like this. Notice that it goes from 4 edges to 3 edges, making a triangle shape. And I'm going to hold it down so it will stay. So push your body off to the side, and we're going to go back to these skinny triangles that we pushed out earlier. And we're going to go back to those, and we're going to change these into the wings. Notice they already kind of fold like wings, and I'm just going to make them look a little more organic by cutting the edges to make them a little more wing-like, more imperfect. When you're done cutting them out, you're going to place them on the edge just like this, pointing towards you, and then glue just the skinniest, tiniest slice of your wings, and you're going to attach them to the bottom of your dragon. Notice that I'm keeping a little bit of a tab out in front of my dragon. Notice that they don't match up necessarily towards the edge. I have a little bit hanging off my body in the front, and this will be used for your head later, so it's important that you keep it a little bit exposed. But I'm keeping the creases lined up as best as I can so he can fold his wings up just like this. When your body's all glued on together with your wings, you're going to push it aside and you're going to grab your second construction paper. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half like a hot dog, like we just did earlier. And you're going to fold it in half, making a nice crease down the middle of your paper. When you open it back up, you are also going to do the same thing as you did before, and you're going to make a basic triangle at the top, just like we did when we made a quote-unquote house shape. When you're done making your house shape, that's when you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut those 2 triangles off. Notice I'm just going to follow the line at the bottom of my triangle. Once you've made a rectangle, you'll notice that there are 3 different lines. I need you to cut the one that goes down the center, so you wind up having 2 squares. These squares are going to be your head, so we need to make sure that we do a nice job folding them, but we need to make sure that we fold them half again. So notice that there is a folded line down the middle. I need you to match those together to then make a new folded line down the middle, so it eventually will turn into an X shape. So again, I'm going to take my folded line, match them together on each point, smush and zip and zip and zip some more. And you guys are going to open it up and it should end up like an X. You're going to cut one side of your X. Notice it starts to look like a kite. With this kite shape, you're going to have like this mouth opening, which is great because we're going to glue those together. You're going to take one of those sides and you're going to glue a little bit of glue. And you're going to take the other half of it and you're going to fold up and tip over and smush. 10 seconds and then let go. So I folded up, I tipped over, and I smushed. Waited 10 seconds. Awesome. So now we're going to put these together and we're going to be, I like to rub a little bit on the table to make sure that it's really sticking. And I'm going to grab a little bit of tape and I'm going to use this basic Scotch tape here so you guys can see it. So I'm just going to place half of my head onto this Scotch tape and then I'm going to match up the other head that I have, the other part of it, so it looks like a completed mouth. Alright, so now you have your head and you're going to attach it to your body. And we're going to do this by attaching the wings here to the slits of your mouth. And that looks a little weird, but trust me, it's going to work. So you got to glue your tips of wings right there, and you are going to slide them in between your top and bottom part of the head. So I'm going to separate this just a little bit, and I'm going to attach it in the middle, and then I'm going to push up. So notice that inside my dragon, the wings kind of tip up with that, and it's a little tricky, but this will help reinforce your dragon for having your head stay on. If you are a little unsure, you can always add an additional little bit of tape on the inside of your dragon head. No harm, no foul. Once your dragon is in drying mode over there, set them aside, and you're going to go back to this paper that you still have. Keep it folded and then fold it one more time. So altogether it's going to have 4 pieces. And you're going to go ahead and draw the feet of your dragon. I start with 3 basic letter C's. And then I draw a big, like, gross looking C, or even like a bean shape. And 3 backwards curves to connect them, almost looking like frog feet. And then I change it up by adding some triangles for my claws. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. And bam, awesome, magic. So I cut them all out at once, and I'm going to fold this top part of my feet / legs to make kind of like a tabby. I sped this part of the video up just to save some time, and I'm just gonna glue down the tabby part onto the bottom of my dragon. While your dragon dries, you guys are going to be able to get some other scratch paper. I have some white paper, and I'm going to be folding them up, and I'm going to be making eyes and teeth. So all I do is create a circle / oval shape, color it in, and I'm going to fold this up, and I'll just be making a zigzag shape kind of down the middle, and I'll be ready to cut those out. Just like this. If I cut it out and fold it at once, you only have to cut it once. Sweet. But you double your load. The other things I'm going to add today is I'm going to add eyebrows, and I'm going to add some fire. So honestly, all I'm going to do is draw some crazy zigzags in no particular order for my fire. And I'm going to also add some bushy eyebrows, and I'm going to be really dramatic about it by, again, using just zigzaggy lines. When I'm done, I'm going to cut those out, and I will be back in a second. Voila! Now that I have everything cut out, I'm just going to attach my eyebrows to my eyes to make it a little easier for me to glue. And then I'm going to glue my eyes / eyebrows to my actual dragon head. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can do that flat like I'm going to do, or you can do them 3D where they're popping out, similar to our claws in our feet. When I glue my teeth in, I put them inside my dragon mouth, just like this. And I'm going to add my fire. Feel free to make your dragon even more like your own by adding extra things or adding details to your dragon wings. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Happy creating. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.